A lot has changed in the past years of Dota 2, and in this video we are going to cover some of those things that I found quite surprising when I returned to the game after this international. With a lot of people rejoining Dota 2 at the moment after the international, I thought it was a great time to make a video talking about this sort of thing to catch you guys up to speed, as I have had to do this myself in recent games. Dota is a constantly changing game, so keep in mind some of these things may change if you're watching this in the future, but as of right now, these are some of the changes that were new to me after I rejoined. Let's talk about it. Okay, so when starting out a game, the first thing you're going to notice, even in an unranked game, which is what I assume you guys would be starting with when returning, you will still have bans and you will still have picks. The way this works is there is a time at the beginning of the game where you can vote on which heroes you want banned. At this point, it is a good idea that if you are going against anyone that you just hate playing against, then ban them every single time. You can be clever about this and pick the ones that are going to be the strongest heroes in the meta at the moment, as right now, I ban Phantom Assassin every single game because she is a pain in the ass. So in a unranked game, you will still have your bans, and then afterwards you will still take turns doing picks. It's not just pick as quick as you can. There will be the vote for ban phases, and then after that, there will be 2 picks for each team where you can't see what the other team has picked, and then after that, you'll pick another 2, and then another 1. Picks for each round of picking will be revealed afterwards. If you pick the same hero that the enemy does, that hero will become banned, and you will have to pick something else. During the picking phase, you will have strategy time. This allows you to buy items before you get into the game, allowing you to move out of the base immediately and get into position. Now, things have changed from when I played back in the past, whereas now the bounty runes are in the river. There is 1 bounty rune in each rune spot in the river, and then there's also 1 bounty rune in each side's jungle area. Every game you will compete to try and get as many of these bounty runes as possible. Most of the time you do end up getting 2 each, but if you can and you have a good pick early on to be able to push them out of their own bounty rune area, you can steal from their jungle and then grab both of the river ones as well. That will give you a pretty decent advantage during that early laning phase. One thing to mention, these days you will rarely see a jungler. Jungle just isn't really taken anymore. Usually there is a 2-1-2 situation with the lanes. This is also different from when I played a few years ago. Back in the day, you would have the Iron Talon, which is now removed from the game, and you can't jungle with that item from the beginning anymore. It is actually kind of bad for your team if you do go after the jungle and try and jungle from level 1, as the person in the side lane is just going to get absolutely stomped. It makes sense now to just go a 2-on-2, have a support in each lane, have a core in each lane, and then have your mid laner as well. Okay, so that is the beginning of the game that's kind of changed up a little bit. Obviously, there's still similarities, but getting the picks and the bans in, and then of course going and competing for the bounty runes, it's fairly different when I played back in the day, and maybe for some other people now. One last thing to mention, if you have 2 people who are wanting to go for the mid lane, there is a roll system now where you will press /roll into the chat, and it will roll a number to see who has the higher number to be able to get that lane. Most people do respect this. Every now and again you're going to bump into someone who will just go, no, I'm not rolling, I'm going mid. But in all honesty, if you do get that, just change to a different lane. It's only 1 game, you'll be fine. Okay, with all that out of the way, let's talk about some different things that have changed in the game in no particular order. Let's go. Okay, so the first thing that I picked up on very quickly was that every lane has a special creep on it every few waves that gives extra gold. The way this creep works is when you finally kill it, as long as you get the last hit, yourself and the other person in the lane is going to get bonus gold. You want to make sure you are getting these. They are just as important as your range creeps and are absolutely worth using abilities to make sure you secure these. If you can deny the enemy these creeps and make sure you get it for yourself, you're going to be having a great time in lane. They do make a fairly big difference. It's basically like getting an extra last hit without actually having to. So these are really important. Make sure you focus on these, and they are in every single lane. You will also continue to see these creeps throughout the rest of the game as well. Next up is for the supports of the game, or just anyone in general. If you are going to be stacking camps, in the past it used to be you would stack a camp, somebody else would take that camp for the extra gold, of course, as a carry or a core or anything like that, and you would probably stand around and get a little bit of experience points, but the gold would all be for the carry. So the supports have now been given a little bit of love. This is absolutely crazy for me, and I think it's brilliant and such a good thing. This is, if you stack a camp now and then leave it, whenever that camp gets cleared, you will get bonus gold from when it is cleared. It doesn't matter if you're nearby, it doesn't matter when it gets cleared. If you stack a camp and then a core clears it, as a support, whoever stacked that camp, even if you're a mid and you stack a camp or anything like that, you are still going to get gold. The gold will be given to you straight away, and you'll be notified of that by hearing a noise that It kind of sounds like getting last hits, but not quite. This is an epic update for supports. It is really good and it incentivizes you to actually start stacking camps. So even if you're in lower tier games, if you are even just a mid player or anything like that, and you're walking past a camp and it is about 50 seconds or something like that towards the minute, then stack a camp. It is going to give you gold even if you do not clear it. And their supports, stack camps, man. You're going to get so much more gold from this. It is going to help you out a lot. The next thing is if you played when you had shrines in the game, which was a couple of years ago, I believe, those were the buildings that were in the jungles that would, if you activated them, it would heal your team around them. Now, those do not exist anymore. Currently in game, they have outposts in, I believe, in the same places that they used to have shrines. What outposts do is they provide gold over time, an increase in the gold that you would normally get over time per player while you have them active on your side of the team. So you have them at the beginning of the game, one each in each main part of the jungle, and you can teleport to these as well. These can be incredibly useful, and of course capturing the enemy outpost is going to give you more gold if you have it active. Now, you can capture an enemy outpost once you've destroyed one of the tier 2 towers near the outpost. That allows you to take over it. However, it can be captured back, so pushing a tier 2 really early on in the game just so you can capture one of these doesn't usually matter all that much, as the team will just take it straight back. However, when you are pushing the map more and you are pushing into the enemy base, making sure you take this is incredibly useful for a few reasons. Not just because it gives you extra gold over time, but because of the teleport as well. If, for example, you are in a team fight, you're pushing high ground, 3 of your cores die. Those cores can then buy back and teleport directly to the outpost, which is in the enemy jungle, meaning you are a lot closer to being able to rejoin the fight. The outpost gives you a lot of control on the map. It is definitely worth taking hold of these, and it's just going to give you a lot of advantages in different ways. The outposts do not give vision, but if someone is capturing it, you will be able to see that hero capturing the outpost. To capture the outpost, all you have to do is defeat the tower that I mentioned, and then right click on it and it will start capturing it. You do not need to do damage to it anymore. There's just a time limit on it, and the more heroes you have capturing it, the faster it will go. For anyone who's not been playing for a long time, neutral items are a thing in game now. Neutral items are items that are dropped by killing neutral creeps. Who would have guessed? Each neutral item does give different buffs and are incredibly useful, and 100% should be used on every single hero. You will have tiers of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of these items that are unlocked at different times during the game. Killing the creeps after those certain times will allow you to have a chance at dropping those items. However, if you do use a Hand of Midas on the neutral camp, and there is a chance of obtaining one of these, then you will also be guaranteed to get it. Each tier of neutral item does become available at 7 minutes, 17 minutes, 27 minutes, 36 minutes, 40 seconds, and 60 minutes per tier. Some of these items are real game changers, so don't forget to take these. They're incredibly important. One final thing to mention about these is it is really important for you guys to take into account which items are going to be better used on which people in your team. For example, there might be an item that is really good for your hero, but if it performs better on a different player, then it just be nice and give it to them. It's going to overall benefit you as well. So I know it may be good for you, but trust me, give it to the best person that it's fit for. It will make such a big difference in your win rates. So yeah, quite a lot has changed in Dota 2. It is a very different game in a lot of aspects, but it is still a great game. For anyone returning to the game, welcome back. I hope that you have as much fun as I have been having, but remember, don't be toxic. Don't be absolutely getting raged or getting thingy. Honestly, the best thing you can do and the most way you can have fun, in my opinion, is because if you're taking a long break, you can just chill out, just enjoy it, just play the game, play the heroes you want to play, and just play as a team. It's a lot of fun. I hope you'll enjoy it. I hope this video was useful for you guys who is returning. If anyone who's been playing for a long time thinks of anything that I've missed, because there's plenty of other stuff that I haven't mentioned in this video, and I can make a part 2, so comment down below anything else, and if there is more stuff, I will definitely take them up and use them. This is a brand new channel that I am making for Dota 2. I plan to post more stuff as well, and it is going to be focused very much on casual players and all that sort of stuff, and returning to the game, and just random little clips here and there. So if that sounds like your thing, then do subscribe to the channel as well, and we'll get some more content coming out very soon. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll catch you all in the next one.